The Keurig K-Cafe coffee machine. This comes with a milk frother and a bunch of other cool options. Let's talk about the pros and cons right now and jump right into it. But it is all plastic, so keep that in mind. It's kind of an illusion of metal. Actually, the funny thing, the only thing that's metal is the drip tray and the carafe for milk frothing. One thing I wish they did better on this machine is the water container. I wish it was a see-through container rather than this kind of, I don't know, frosted plastic look. It just seems cheap to me on a machine that should not seem cheap. It has a standard one punch hole in the top, one punch hole in the bottom. Nothing crazy there. The drip tray is removable, so you can put travel mugs in there. Now your milk frother over here is a rad setup. I like the fact you can wash this entire thing in the dishwasher. Then internally you have a frothing wand, which is magnetic. It's such a nice feature to have a magnetic frothing wand because it's so much easier to put this back over that large pillar. Just like that. You don't have to fumble around trying to find perfect little hole to fit into a smaller device. It just instantly snaps on. It rotates through the base of this. There's no electrical wires or components to it, and it fits right into the machine and froths your milk. You have cold options, so it'll froth milk cold. It takes about roughly a minute, minute and a half, and that way you can pour froth milk over iced coffee and it doesn't melt your ice anymore. You have latte and cappuccino. Latte is gonna be a little bit less foam, a little bit more liquid viscosity, and cappuccino is gonna be more foamy. It's going to be a lot more foam coming out of that. Not a lot of pomp and circumstance on this machine. It seems more complicated than it really is. Not a lot of things to write home about with this machine. You think it would be more fancy because of the way it looks and the price range, but you really get standard Keurig selections. So as you can see here, we have different selections. The latte and cappuccino button, when you hit that, it's going to allow you to have the shot option, which is a 2-ounce shot, which makes a concentrated amount of coffee coming through the same amount of coffee grounds, but you get 2 ounces of fluid. And the strong button gets pre-selected, so it's making a strong cup of coffee for you. That way you can froth milk and make a cappuccino or a latte. It's not a true espresso shot, but it's using less water and it's dripping it slowly over the same amount of coffee grounds, giving you a stronger cup of coffee. Regular coffee mode will give you the selection for 6, 8, 10, and 12 ounce options. And obviously there is no iced coffee option on here. But remember, all Keurig machines and all other pod coffee machines, the iced coffee option's only cutting your liquid ounces coming out of the machine in half. So if you select 12 ounces would be 6, 10 ounces would be 5, 8 would be 4, 6 would be 3. And what it's doing is cutting the liquid ounces in half. That way when it pours over the ice in your mug, it doesn't overflow. It compensates for that melting ice. You technically can do that on here. If you put a 12 ounce cup on here, rather than hitting 12 ounces, just hit 6. It'll compensate for the ice and you can have an iced coffee without having an iced coffee button. So there's no loss in that. Plus you have the cold frothing ability of your milk frother. That way you can pour froth milk over your now iced coffee because you know how to use it. So don't worry about missing an iced coffee button. It doesn't matter. Just select half the ounces you want. That way it compensates for the ice melting in your cup. So let's brew a cup of coffee. Let's froth some milk. I'm gonna use the Keurig My K-Cup reusable filters. This allows me to put my own freshly ground coffee in there and control what I'm making. And it still reads in the machine as a regular K-Cup, doesn't screw anything up that way. You just have to take out this little pod here, which is very simple. You pinch around the sides and then it just comes right out, just like that. And then this device is the My K-Cup device that you fill up with coffee grounds, and you stick it in here just like you would a regular K-Cup, and you shut it and the machine recognizes it and it's good to go. Let's get our pod in there and start making a shot. And let's get the milk frothing as well. So we're gonna come over here and we're gonna select latte, and let's do cappuccino. Just like that. That is one feature I don't like about it. I wish you can turn off that beep, because if you have significant others sleeping, it'd be nice to make it quiet. I don't like the fact it beeps when you start it and it beeps again when it's done. You can already see it's heating it up and frothing. It does a great job making froth milk. And let's get this shot going. So we're gonna select, got shot, and going. There he goes, putting out some more. Nice and robust and thick. Look at that. You can definitely see how thick that coffee is. Now we're gonna pour the foam over top of it. That is delicious. Now you have two options you can do. You can do the foam in first into the cup and then have the espresso pour over top of it, so that way it's a little bit more separation. But I like the mix. I like to have that, you know, high strength espresso shot, higher strength coffee mixed in with the foam milk and the sugar that I added in there. This is a delicious cup of coffee right here. The foam didn't come out as fluffy and as foamed as I'd like it, so there's a little bit of a con there. The Cafe doesn't put out as good of foam as the Cafe Smart, but it does do the job and it does look like a delicious cup of coffee. Go check it out. The Keurig K-Cafe definitely has some cool options.